The first time that I was allowed to exercise again after my heart attack, I was excited, yes, but I was also scared. Before my heart attack, exercise, it's been a major part of my life. When I had the heart attack on February 15th, one of the things that I did think about after the dust settled was, am I ever going to be able to work out again? Am I ever going to be able to exercise again? When I was laying in the hospital and when I first got out, and it was difficult to walk without being out of breath, and everything that I did, I was exhausted on the backside of it. Like if I walked a little bit, I was tired. If I lifted my son up with the arm that I was allowed to, because I couldn't lift him up with this arm because I had the artery damage from them. You know, they went in to put the stents in. So if I lifted my son up with my left arm and I was holding him and playing with him, you know, in the week after, I was extremely tired. So naturally, I thought to myself, this is how it's gonna be forever, and I'm never gonna be able to exercise again. And I remember my cardiologist said to me when I left the hospital, he said that I would eventually be able to do the things that I was doing, running the races that I was doing, and so on. But I sat with him for a few minutes, and you know, I know the guy fixed my heart. He fixed me, and I trusted him for that and respected him for that. But I heard what he was saying about me being able to work out again, but I didn't really believe it back then, because when I was getting tired from just walking, it was very difficult to ever believe that I'd be able to do what I love to do again. The first time that I exercised again was at cardiac rehab. I went in there and I did my first exercise. My first exercise after the heart attack was walking on the treadmill at an extremely slow pace with an EKG monitor on me, and then monitoring my heart the entire time, making sure that everything was okay. It wasn't the exciting, I wasn't doing burpees, I wasn't doing sprints, I wasn't lifting heavy, I wasn't doing bench press, pull-ups, I wasn't doing any of that. I was walking on a treadmill, and I was extremely exhausted that night just from walking on the treadmill. This was about 3.5 weeks after my heart attack. I wanted to get into cardiac rehab before then, but again, it was so difficult to figure out with insurance and everything that this was the timeline for me. Let me rewind a little bit. My cardiologist didn't really tell me that I had any restrictions. I realized I have an interventionist cardiologist, and I am in the market and need for probably a general cardiologist, because I like my cardiologist a lot, but he fixed my heart. And I think that interventionists, once they fix your heart, to continue to meet with them is kind of like, I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you have any experience with this. I think I need a general cardiologist, but he didn't tell me I had any restrictions, and I felt like I should. So I took things slow. And when I went into that cardiac rehab and they put me on the treadmill, I joked and like, can I run? You know, and they were like, no. And Steve won't let me run. Steve won't let me run. Something that I've done so many times, exercise, felt so foreign to me. Okay, when I hopped back on that treadmill after not doing anything for a couple of weeks, and how I felt before the heart attack of like being exhausted all the time and not realizing that it was from coronary artery disease, when I hopped on that treadmill, it felt so different to me. And I almost cried when I walked on that treadmill, because I felt so grateful that I was moving, that I was doing something. And my big thing was that I didn't want to have another heart attack. So even though I love exercise so much and I'm so comfortable in the pain cave of working out, I've been there a million times, I didn't know how far was too far. So I was asking the guys at the cardiac rehab, you know, is this okay? You know, my heart rate's here. Is this all right? And my heart was going up, and then it was shooting back down in a healthy way. And they were let me know that that was going on. And, you know, the first workout I did nothing, just walked and did a little bike, and it progressed. I started going to cardiac rehab twice a week and going for walks on my own with my kids in the neighborhood. And what happened was my cardio health, my fitness started to come back. My heart started not to go as high from the same level of effort as it did in the weeks before. And I started making gains in the right direction. And eventually, they allowed me to run on the treadmill. And they're letting me run. They're letting me run, baby. I'm a big boy. Thanks, Steve. They turned it up to like, I think it was 4 or 5 miles per hour. When I ran for the first time on that treadmill, my heart rate shot up, but then I would rest and it would come down. And over time, my heart rate started to drop lower and lower when I was doing more and more effort. Eventually, this led to my first workout outside of cardiac rehab, and that was a little bit more scary. I host a workout every Sunday in Fort Lauderdale. I was actually at the workout on February 15th when my heart attack symptoms started. I do this workout every Sunday for years with a group of people, and the first thing that I did outside of cardiac rehab was I met back up with my crew. We started the workout again. I made a workout for them to do, and I walked. So today, I'm going to, for the first time, not in cardiac rehab, I'm gonna walk jog. Minimal 1 mile. I just walked around the, it's like a little loop. And I walked around for the duration of time that they worked out. I even stopped midway and sat down because I couldn't walk the whole time. So I have earned the bit of recovery that I have from this heart attack man, I've been patient with myself, and I have wanted to not be at times. Like when I have to walk around a park and I'm laboring and have to sit down and watch my friends keep working out. Me, I love to work out and do this side by side with the people that I love, my friends, And when in the beginning, it was so hard, man. It was so hard to keep going forward when it was so difficult. But I know that my kids are watching. I know that all you guys that I'm helping are watching. And I continue to go one foot in front of the other because I made a decision that this was not going to be the story that I had a heart attack. That's not the story. The story is that I am overcoming a heart attack and helping pull up people along the way. And it started with that first exercise. And exercise is so important to me to be able to build myself in a way that I could fill my cup up to give to you. And that ties right into my next point, which is that recovery wasn't about setting records. It was about showing up. And when we show up over and over and over to whatever it is, and we just put one foot in front of the other, we make progress. And when it's recovery from a heart attack, like I said earlier in the video, it might not seem like you're making progress, and it might be very frustrating. If you were used to doing X, Y, and Z, you got hit with this situation and you can't do that anymore. It is very difficult mentally to continue to move forward knowing that you used to be able to do this, the old you was able to do that, and the new you can't even walk down the street without being out of breath. That hurts. But what hurts more is stopping because of that. Because if you stop, you won't get it back the way that you could. I'm not a doctor. Don't take this literal because I don't know if it's true. But when somebody has an injury and they don't go to physical therapy, that muscle, that joint, that tendon, that ligament is less likely to heal as good as it could have had they gone and saw the therapist and did the movements and did the bands and did the little single arm, single leg, whatever it was. With cardiac, with a heart attack, if you don't exercise, walk, move afterwards, I don't know that it settles in, the damage just settles in, and it's like but in my mind, that's kind of how that's what I equate it to, is that use it or lose it. And I knew this very early on that I had to move. I had to strengthen myself for you guys, and I've been praying to God every day to give me the strength to keep moving forward, because it's not easy. It's not. Like, I know you see me making these videos and it's like, oh, this guy's just talking about his heart attack concept. This helps me. This helps me to get through mine, and then it's helping pave a way for other people too. So I'm doing something that's ordained from something besides us here on this earth. And I know that. I know that because I begged him to save my life. And it was almost like he was like, yes, I will, but you got to do this now, because I have been compelled to continue on. And I didn't go viral for just no reason. I never went viral in my life. And then this happened, and now boom. Since my heart attack, I have definitely been getting stronger again. But that first workout wasn't about getting stronger. That first workout was about proving to myself that my life wasn't over. And it was that simple. And if you're in it right now and you don't know what's going on, I want to say to you that your life is not over. And it might be difficult right now, but I could tell you with confidence that if you put one foot in front of the other every day, you'll get stronger. And when the difficulties come, and they will, you'll be better equipped to handle them. And also, you're not alone. There's an entire community out here that I've found of heart attack survivors that support one another and relate to each other on an emotional level, which it helps. Some people have messaged me saying, listen, I've gone to therapy and it's great, and they help me, whatever, but just knowing that other people exist like me has helped me even more, you know? And sometimes that's how it works. So I know I touched on it briefly here, but the next episode is gonna be about the first time that they let me run at cardiac rehab. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. We're dropping episodes of this series, Rebuilding After Widowmaker, every Sunday at 9 a.m. So if you've watched this far, I just want to say thank you guys from the bottom of my heart.